why the visceral hate for Purdue? Rob, what do you got against Matt Painter?
I got nothing against Matt Painter. I literally wrote a 3,000 word story 2 years ago about why Matt Painter is the most versatile and the best all around coach when it comes to X's and O's in college basketball. I have absolutely no Purdue hate. I love Purdue. They do great numbers for us. I just don't think that they can. I've not trusted their perimeter defense all season long. And I talked so much shit about how they are not going to be able to get out of the first weekend. And like, they're basically a lock to get to the Elite Eight, and they're probably going to get to the Final Four. And I'm just going to have to celebrate it because it means we're going to do better numbers. So I'm all in. I'm on the Purdue bandwagon. Let's go. I'm back, baby.
All right.
I also just hate Robbie Hummel. So
that's so fake. That's so fake, Rob. You didn't mean any of that.
Me?
Yeah, you didn't mean any of that.
I promise you, I love when our traffic numbers are high.
That's what I'm saying. But I need you to have actual love and respect for Purdue because they still have a top 5 pick in their backcourt. They have the best front court combo in the country.
I do. I have a lot of. I love the Purdue program. I mean, Matt Painter is a great dude to talk to. They give us great access. Like, there's nothing not to like about Purdue except their perimeter defense and their the way that their guards guard ball screens and the way that Zach Edey guards ball screens. That's literally the only thing I don't like about them. Is I'm worried about they let Marcus Carr go off against them, right? Like, so that's
Marcus Carr is a bucket.
He's empty calories, but doesn't matter. He's gone.
I like that.
He's
I like
gone.
that.
Yeah, can I go? Can we go?
Perfect.
Yeah, he's Fruit Loops, man. He's Starburst. Empty calories.
Those are two things that have calories.
Yeah, and they're not good for you. That's exactly my point, Coach.
All right, we have a Fanta.
Can I?
We have a Fanta bomb in the chat. John Fanta active. You love to see it.
Oh boy.
Who is the player you'd bet on more than anyone to lead their team to a national title? And if all three of you say Colin Gillespie, I'm walking out of my basement right now.
Colin Gillespie.
Go ahead, Colin.
You guys are just gonna leave me hanging here. It's not Gillespie. I think to me the answer is Drew Timme. Like, if I'm going to be serious, I think it's Drew Timme.
Yeah, I think
picking a big man though for the lead. I feel like you got to go guard or ball down.
Jaden Ivey. If we're not going Colin Gillespie, I'd go Jaden Ivey.
I was going to go Jaden Ivey as well.
Yeah, because they're going to put him in spots to really be good and really be athletic. And it's not as heavily. Here's the deal too with the Big Ten. Like, they scout each other so well. Like, when you play in the tournament, I feel like it's just such a mix-up, right? Like St. Peter's hasn't scouted or known how Purdue's played, or like there hasn't been any forethought. Like, typically, if you have a game in middle of February, but you're at January 2, like, you still know exactly how Miami likes to play. It's just the nuance you got to figure out different. Now the tournament's differently. You're basically going from scratch, and they're going to be able to put him in a lot of favorable positions.
You guys
can I say one? Hey, Rob, can I say one more quick thing about Purdue? Just real quickly.
Yeah, go ahead. You can say whatever you want, Carter. It's your world. We're just
time. It is time for Matt Painter to get over the hump, and I think things are falling into place for him. He is a great coach. Like I said, I'm a Big Ten basketball fan. I'm a college basketball fan. Matt Painter is up there for one of my favorite coaches, and one of the coaches that I put in the category that are, great to good. They just haven't made it to the Final Four yet. It's like ring culture in the NBA. Like, they're a great player, but they haven't won a title yet. Matt Painter's a great coach, but he hasn't made a Final Four yet. And I think, like, this is the year he has all this talent. He was not able to win the regular season outright. He wasn't able to win the Big Ten tournament. Like, he needs this Final Four. It is his time. It's the Big Ten's time as a conference. A lot's riding on this. So I think they finally get over that hump and get to that Final Four. And then once you get there, players like Jaden Ivey, Travion, Edey, Stefanovic, like, they have guys that can get it done.
Yep, that's when.
That's fair. Let me ask you this, Carter, because T.O., Fant, and I had a long kind of argument about this on Monday on our podcast. Fanda said that this is the golden opportunity for Matt Painter, and it might be the only opportunity that he has to be able to make a Final Four and get to a national title. I said it's a golden opportunity in the sense that he is you're never going to get a better chance than being a 3 seed where the top 2 seeds have been knocked out and you play a 15 seed in the Sweet Seed. Like, it's the perfect setup, right? But I firmly believe that this is something that is replicable for Purdue basketball, and this is not going to be like the last chance that they have. Where do you stand on that? You watch more Big Ten than us.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to be able to have this talented of a team with this many guys sticking around. Like, the fact that they were able to get a guy like Jay Nivey, get Travion, get Edie. I mean, Matt Painter is going to get his 7-footers no matter what. That's going to happen. But I don't know. Everything's falling into place for them for this to be the moment they make it, and they got to take advantage of it. And if they don't, then it would be very Purdue of them to not, get over the hump with all this talent. Like, they need to do it. There's a lot riding on this for them, I feel like.
So here's my counterpoint to that. In 2010, they had the best team in the country. They probably would have been at the very top of the national title mix if Robbie Hummel doesn't tear his ACL. In 2016 through 2018, the Isaac Haas years, right? They had teams that were top 5 in KenPom, that were top 5 in offensive efficiency, that were good enough to be able to run very similar builds to this year's team. They didn't have a Jaden Ivey, but they had a lot of dudes that were really, really good on those teams. 2019 with Carson Edwards, they had a first-team All-American. They had other shooters. They played a way that was completely different from what Matt Painter had played the previous 3 seasons. I'll throw some facts at you. They from 2017 to 2018, they had the highest post-up rate in Synergy's entire database, right? No one has ever run as many post-ups as they did in those 2 seasons. The year after, in 2019, they set the record for Big Ten three-pointers taken in a season. So my point, bigger picture, is they consistently get these good players, these NBA caliber players, maybe not top 5 picks, but they consistently get these good players. Matt Painter is malleable and can change the way what he runs. He has a culture. He has an identity. Players develop there. This is a great opportunity for them. I don't think this is the last time that we're ever going to see them be a top 2 or 3 seed. I think that's going to be something that is very consistent for Purdue basketball moving forward.
But maybe even to counter that, like, you don't think that affects them at all, that they have, if I'm a player and I want to go to Purdue, and players play to win titles, you know what I'm saying? They're playing to win titles. They're playing to play in Final Fours and play on the big stage. You have all this talent. You have a guy like Jay Nivey, who, credit to Matt Painter and his staff, who've done a great job developing him, and also Jay Nivey himself being a good player and developing, but they're not getting the Final Fours. Like, does that not come into the back of your head? Like, if you want to play in Final Fours, you don't want to go to Purdue because they don't go to them. And it's not all their fault. Like, against that game against Virginia where they had Carson Edwards, they throw that half-court pass and Diabate hits a random jumper that goes in. Like, that's just terrible luck. But the fact of the matter is, they don't have any Final Four banners in that gym for Painter.
Yeah,
so,
but I mean, I do think part of that is kind of shitty luck, right? Like, how can you control whether or not Robbie Hummel is going to tear his ACL? Like I know
it's just if I asked you to list great coaches, they all have Final Fours.
Yeah, but so here's the other thing that I would say to that is they're not going out and going after really like 5-star top 50 kids. They're kind of getting players that come into the program.
Nobody in the Big Ten.
Yeah, they're kind of going out and getting guys that they can develop over the year. Turn your mic off, Greg. they're getting guys that they can go through and kind of develop and get better over the years, right? There's a reason why they're always upperclassmen. Like, Jaden Ivey is the exception, and he was a kid that no one thought he was going to be this good this quick, right? They slowly kind of grow their programs. I hear what you're saying, and it makes sense, but I just don't think that Purdue guys are going to are going to this program to say, okay, I need to be there in the Final Four next year. Right. I need to be there in a couple of years. It's like, okay, we're going to keep developing this thing and we'll get there eventually. Does that make sense?
Yeah. But that's how the whole Big Ten operates, really, though. I mean, there's just there are transfers. There's just not as many. There are guys turning pro. There just aren't as many. They hang on to guys. And if you look at even I think it was this year's McDonald's All-American team. I don't think there was one single signee to the Big Ten. Now, I did.
Oh no,
say
there's
that,
a couple. No, they got Michigan though.
that?
Michigan's kind of changing
Michigan.
that.
So Juwan, outside of Juwan, I mean, the
Yeah.
rest of the league operates like that. Juwan's been getting them, but outside of him, like it's been
Right.
Yeah, it's a developmental league, and you can see that's the reason they're so good during the regular season most of the time, because they can be more complex earlier in the year.
Oh, little slander. You see that?
No,
Little
there was
slander.
no slander. That's right.
That's why that's the way they haven't won a title since 2000. Just say it, T.O.
No, it's just they're the only one that's stuck back with the dinosaurs, like how they play. They're just a little bit slower. You got bigger players. You play a different style of game. And in the Big Ten, how you win in the Big Ten is not necessarily how you win in the NCAA tournament.